This here podcast is for a little bit of this and a little bit of that. You never know, we might be talking about spirituality and wellness, relationships, whatever it is that you do to get your money, be it working somewhere, be it running your own thing, be it having a side hustle. It's all good over here. We are getting organized. We are handling our time management better, and we are having fun through it all. Because over here, it's all love, all light, and good vibes only. So, if you are interested in living, laughing, and learning, growing and glowing, drinking your water, and minding your own business, this is the perfect place for you. Hi, I'm Tiff, and welcome. Hey friends, it's your girl Tiff, and I'm back again with another edition of the Life Unscripted podcast by Organized Energy. I want to thank you for tuning in and sharing a bit of your time with me. I hope that by the end of this episode, you feel like the time you spent was well worth it. All right, let's get into it. So we've been talking about networking, and I've been giving here and there a note on networking, right? And so if you've been following, we've discussed various strategies and tips on networking because for some people it is so taboo. Some people are wallflowers and they'd rather not kind of get out there and integrate with the group. But networking is almost essential to your personal and professional development. And so especially if you are wanting to grow yourself, just you know, it could be that you're networking because you're trying to meet like-minded individuals for something that you enjoy on a leisure basis or for a hobby or, you know, just for self-improvement, you know, say, taking up an art class or learning how to play an instrument or working out, you know, getting fit, so on and so forth, you know, so for just personal development reasons. But then also you might have brand development reasons that you want to network. You know, you might, as your personal brand, you know, perhaps you are a subject matter expert or an enthusiast in one thing or another, whether it be for your career or if it be for your own business or some group or organization that you represent or a cause that you are a huge proponent for. And so for various reasons, we all represent a brand, whether it's our own or someone else's. Okay. And so for all those reasons, networking is almost essential. So with that being said, there are some people who are kind of like, okay, so maybe I'm sold on networking, but I don't feel comfortable with it. So what do you do, you know? Because it's got to be more than just exchanging a business card at a networking event, right? And that is so true. Networking is so much more than just exchanging a business card, exchanging contact information at some event or online or whatever. There's like so much more to that. And essentially, networking is about relationships. Really, it's about nurturing relationships. It is not about trying to see what you can get out of someone else. Essentially, you're leading with your listening ear and you're leading with the opportunity and the intention on providing value, providing service, being an asset to someone else's circle that they are now including you in as a member of their network. And when you need it and when you need that to be reciprocated, hopefully, prayerfully, by them being a part of your network, they would do the same for you. So that's that. So hopefully we are networking with people or building relationships with people that would even make sense, and where we are like-minded, and where we can be, our values are aligned to where we can build on that and create some amazing relationships as a result. All right. So now that we've talked about that, again, some people are kind of like, okay, so I've got this new connection. What do I do with it? Now, let me tell you all on a personal note, this is probably way too much for the business side, but this podcast is to be well-rounded because I am a certified life coach, and I love talking about holistic development and all things that make up the whole person, okay? So with that being said, just like I just kind of did that little statement, I was like, some people are like, okay, so I have this new connection. What do I do with it? You all would probably do the same whenever the Lord sends my husband finally. I'm probably gonna be like, oh, a boo thing. And what do you do with that? It's been so long, it seems like. And so some people feel that way about making new friends, making new connections in whatever the capacity that looks like, whether it's for personal or professional reasons. Some people are like, okay, what do you do with this? So that being said, let's talk about it. What do you do with a new connection? Whether it's a new friend, a new a business bestie, or whatever. So again, if we're looking at this from a relationship building standpoint and not a swooping in for the sale, going for the gusto standpoint. So in building a relationship, what does that look like when you have a new friend, when you have a new fitness buddy, a new, let's go out and taste wines every Wednesday, buddy, or let's, learn how to play this instrument, or learn how to paint classes once a week buddy, or new business buddy, or whatever. What do you do when you finally meet someone that you might be vibing with? As we're building relationships, we are trying to establish trust. We want them to know that we have their best interest at heart, that we are here to serve, that we are here to be an asset and a resource. And so because of that, or for that reason, what do you do to show that? You might want to start sharing resources. So for instance, I have a new friend. Shout out to my new friend. She is amazing. And she throws resources my way. I throw resources her way. And she's just fantastic. And I hope that she feels the same for me as far as us being new little business besties. And so when she hears about an opportunity that might, be something that I would absolutely love or could benefit from, she throws it my way. She sends me the email or forwards the links to me via text message. And she's like, hey, girl, I saw this, or I heard about this, and I thought of you. You might be interested, so on and so forth. And same thing for me. If I come across something that she enjoys, she's a book retailer. And so shout out to you, D, if you're listening, D. But she's a book retailer. So if I find out that there is an opportunity for her to, to be a vendor at some event, or an opportunity to do something to help her business grow in whatever way, a connection that I can make, or, a name that I can drop, I do that for her as well, because I know what her goals are, or some of her goals as it pertains to her building her book retailing business. Sometimes I might say, have you thought about this? Girl, I think you should do that, or what do you think about this idea, or so on and so forth. And again, she does the same thing for me, and so in that regard, we establish trust with each other that I am not here to get anything from you. I'm here to help in whatever way I can, and so we feel safe with each other. I hope that she feels that way with me as well. It seems like she does, but so that's great. So that's one thing. It's just sharing resources. So if you have a new fitness buddy, somebody you're hanging out at the gym with, or meeting up to go walking or go jogging with, or whatever, maybe you come across an article about whatever it is that the goals are that you guys have been discussing as it pertains to that thing, fitness. Maybe you found a resource. Maybe you found a new shoe that is like so comfortable, for when you guys go jogging or walking or, whatever it is. Share with them the thing that you found if you feel like it's going to be of benefit to them, because then that they see that you are wanting to be an asset. You're not trying to get something from them. So that can go for a resource, something, a product, a service, a link, an article, a blog, an event that's coming up, things like that. Let them in on those opportunities. 2, what else can you do when you are networking with a new connection? Or for that matter, not even necessarily just a new connection, any of your connections, because we need to nurture our networks. So I tell you guys, I've mentioned it in other episodes, that you might already have people that you're connected with that you've not necessarily nurtured those particular connections, nurturing your network. So go back through your connections that you have on various social media platforms. I use LinkedIn as an example. There might be some people that you have maybe overlooked, or, as the young people say, you might have been sleeping. As the young people say, you might have been sleeping on, that you didn't realize would be an amazing connection for you, to just show up to events with together, to, you guys have something in common. And so you guys want to just kind of help each other grow in that particular area, So go back through your lists of connections on your social media networks, on your mailing lists, through some of those old business cards that you've collected over time, at some of the places you already go to often, be it, it might be church, it might be work, it might be a social group that you are a part of or whatever. And just kind of take a second look at some of the people that you already know or might be connected to even slightly and lightly, that you might want to grow some of those relationships. Okay. So, but that being said, another thing to do is, what about offering coffee, whether it's a virtual coffee or meeting in person for coffee, or, for appetizers to network, it might be a happy hour or a breakfast, a brunch, again, it might be that there's an event happening that they might just absolutely love. And you're like, hey, I'm going. Let's meet up there if you're interested, so on and so forth. So that's sending resources. That is spending time. So that is, like I say, a virtual coffee, just a chat. When I say coffee, I say that loosely. Everybody can't drink coffee. Everybody's not interested in coffee. Whatever the case, we say coffee, meaning obviously it could be a cup of water, a cup of lemonade, whatever, or nothing at all. It's just the idea, right? And then for one of my friends, shout out to you, Tasha. Actually a couple of my friends, but they're like, hey girl, we should get together. Hey girl, it's been a long time. Hey girl, when are you available next week or whatever? So I'm like, well, we don't have to, meet up for coffee or for cocktails. I am completely down with meeting up at a local park or a walking trail, and let's just go walking. Let's get fresh air. Let's get some sunshine. Let's just enjoy nature and have great conversations that way. Because really, how much conversation can you get in if your mouth is full with having a whole plate of food, right? So having a lemonade, a coffee, a tea or something, or just going walking is amazing right there, because we remove the barrier of, too much food going on or whatever the other distractions are. And we leave room to actually be able to interact and talk, and those are just really easy examples. You might find a different way that you want to communicate or spend time with a new contact if you feel comfortable. Meeting with people is not always something that people are comfortable with, and I get it. Okay, again, it could be virtually, it could be what are they saying now, IRL, in real life, or not at all. Again, in everything is different for each person. Each person has different preferences, right? So I'm just throwing some things out that I personally try. I cannot push those things on you, okay? So do any of these things at your own risk. That's my disclaimer. But so we are sharing resources. We're inviting people to events. We're hanging out with them ourselves, possibly if that's what you are interested in doing. And then when we are conversing, we are at some point getting to know each other, our goals, personally, professionally, whatever, so where we can figure out if we can get in where we fit in, so that if there is an opportunity to support each other in business or professionally or however you want to put it, that it makes sense to do so. And you can throw that out there at some point if it makes sense. And if they know enough about what you're doing and they recognize that that's something that they could use within their organizations, or for their personal use, what your products, your services, your commodities would most likely sell themselves. And they might reach out and say, hey, tell me more about XYZ that you do, because I've been thinking I need that, or my organization needs that, or whatnot. So it may not even be that you have to pitch to make a sale, because if they know enough about you and they feel comfortable with you, they may inquire on their own. The key is people do business with people quicker than they are going to do business with a business. People do business with people quicker than they will do business with a business. Business is built on relationships. And so we have to nurture those relationships, because essentially people need to feel like they know you, they like you, and they trust you in order to take the next step towards whatever it is that you're hoping that you guys can build on and do, right? And so other things, communication. You can communicate with a new contact via email. You might send over, just kind of a follow-up from when you first met at the event. So say you went to a conference or a networking event, or the gym, or whatever, a class, a hobby, somewhere where you learned a hobby, or whatever, however you met. And so if you have their contact information, if you have their business card, an email might be appropriate the next day. Hey, Susie, it was great meeting you yesterday at XYZ event, or however you guys met. It was great meeting you. Can't wait to learn more about you. If you are open to it, let's chat further. Let's get to know each other. Or if you're down with it, let's have coffee, blah, 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 whatever it is that you might, feel is appropriate. And, looking forward to it. Sincerely, Jackie, or whatever your name is, right? And so you are hitting them up via email, or you might send a text, whichever is most appropriate. Again, then there might, you're connecting online with them, on their social media platforms. And you are thanking them for the connection. So on LinkedIn, you can instant message them, or DM them, I guess I should say, direct message them with a voice clip. I love using voice clips. So I use those little voice memo things. And I'm like, hey, Susie, it's great connecting with you. Most people are shocked. They're like, I never use this feature, but I love that feature. And I love just to tell my new connections that I appreciate them connecting with me, because I really do. It's not transactional for me. I literally enjoy meeting new people, and I literally enjoy learning more about them, and I literally enjoy being an asset or resource for them. So it's not transactional for me. But obviously, at the end of the day, I would hope that I make a great enough impression on them that should they need anything that I already provide, they will look to me first to provide those needs for themselves or their organizations that they represent, but that's not the purpose of the initial, the onset of that relationship, where I love meeting new people, and that's just the truth about it. And most people will tell you, if they know me, they're like, she's never met a stranger. So that's just my personality. But that being said, so we meet the person, we get their information, we send a text or an email, we say, great meeting you, blah, blah, let's chat further so I can know you better. We connect with them on their social media accounts, and then we tell them thank you for that connection by sending a DM or instant message or whatever. We reach out and say, hey, let's have coffee, or let's chat on the phone, or whatever it is, and boom, we've got that. As we come across things, we send information, invites on events, information on resources, so on and so forth, right? And then every once in a while, we're engaging with them online with their social media posts. If we, if what they're posting resonates with us and aligns with our core values, and it's okay, and you're in agreement with what they're posting. Cause I can't say that everything people post, I'm amening to. Okay. I'm sorry, not even sorry. Some people post some things that I'm like, nah. So I'm not going to say I'm going to engage on people's things if it's something that's just not in alignment with what I believe in. So, there's that. But if you see something that they're posting that is thought-provoking, that's insightful, that's valuable, of course, engage, let them know that you appreciate what they're sharing, so on and so forth. And from there, if you're hosting an event, invite them, ask them, if they're hosting something that they would keep you top of mind, that they would invite you, maybe you all can work on a project together. Maybe there's something that you both do, differently enough, but valuable enough to share or service the same type of client or target market, or group that you guys might think, hey, Susie, you do nails and I do facials. Let's have a mommy's day out and let's pamper some moms. Let's do this project together so that we can rev up business for the both of us. Hey, there's that option as well. You might be reading a book. Hey, Susie, I'm reading this book. I thought you might like it. But ultimately, it's about building relationships. If you can master building relationships authentically because you mean it, because you want to, not because you're trying to get something out of somebody, you will remain top of mind more likely than not, so that when or if they need what you offer or what you do, or they know someone that needs what you do, they will think of you to refer or to use for themselves. And that is what I did not coin this phrase. I heard this phrase at an event and they called it ARTS. And ARTS stands for, not my phrase, not taking the credit, but it's authentic relationships that lead to trust and sponsorship. Sponsorship meaning someone's willing to speak up for you in a room that you're not in and say, hey, I know somebody that can do that and do that well. It's my friend Susie. Authentic relationships that lead to trust and ultimately sponsorship. All right. Arts. And so there's an art to networking. All right. I won't beat this dead horse. I think you got enough to get you started. I hope you do. I hope that you are very intentional about your networking efforts. There are so many conferences that are going on, annual conferences and quarterly meetings and networking events, because, folk are back outside again. And so we're meeting again, and we're these symposiums and all these things are going on. And so this is a great time to talk about these tips, because people need them as they are preparing to go to some of these events, these meetups, and they need to know how to be prepared and equipped for them so that you can get what you came for, so that you can feel like when you leave those events, you was well prepared and you knew exactly how to make the friends that you needed to make, how you make the connections you needed to make. And then again, what do you do when you got that business card? What do you do when you make the connection? We have to know the process or next steps so that we can keep that thing going, keep that fire burning, right? All right. So let me know if this was valuable to you. Let me know if I missed anything, because hey, I don't know everything. So tell me some of your networking tips, some of the things that you do, some of what you feel are best practices. Let me know, and so that I can share that with my community. I thank you for being a part of the community, and I look forward to you joining me on another edition of the Life Unscripted podcast by Organized Energy. Until then, until the next time, I want you to be blessed, blessed, blessed. Thank you, friend. It is awesome to listen to my show, but wouldn't it be amazing if you could launch your very own? Go from listening to launching when you pick up my new book called Is This Thing On? The Super Simple Guide to Planning, Launching, and Scaling Your Podcast. And of course, it was written by a podcaster for new and aspiring podcasters. Think of it as business strategy meets podcasting 101. So yeah, anyone can launch a podcast. That's the easy part. But not everyone understands the business and brand strategy behind operating a podcast. Be it if you're doing it just for yourself and for pleasure as a hobby, or if you're doing it to get more eyes on your brand. Either way, this book, this project is for you. Visit organizedenergy.co/shop. Again, organizedenergy.co/shop. I've got some goodies for you. I want you to visit organizedenergy.co/spill the tea. organizedenergy.co/spill the tea. I have curated a list of some of the favorite tools and resources that I use as I operate my business that have been amazing for me. They have helped me to save time. They have helped me to build my team. They have helped me to stay connected with my people. And I absolutely love so many of these tools. I want to share them with you, and it's free to download. So again, go to organizedenergy.co/spill the tea so that I can help you get started working smarter and not harder. Again, and as always, I want to thank you for listening. Okay. Thank you. I appreciate the fact that you shared your time with me. That's number one. Number two, I always tell you guys as I close out my show that I love you. I remind you that God loves you. And I want you to make sure that you love you. Okay? I love you. God loves you. I want to make sure that you love you. Now, if you enjoyed this show and what you heard today, I ask that you do me a favor as my bestie. Would you please go over to Apple Podcasts, to Spotify, and wherever else you listen that has the opportunity for you to rate and review. I would love for you to rate the show and to leave a meaningful review. I want to make sure that you also have subscribed to the show and that you will share it with someone that you think would really enjoy it like you do. Okay? I truly appreciate you. I really do love you. And I cannot wait for you to join me again on the next episode. Have the absolute best week ever.